Alright, Insomniac just released a banger of a story trailer. This one actually answered a lot of the questions people have had, I think. So we're gonna go through and break it down. I'm so jazzed up about this. I'm gonna shrink me down here real quick. Whoop! We're gonna have to go no sound so I don't get silenced by the YouTube bots. But let's go through here. It starts off a little slow just with Harry and Peter talking. It's nice to see like their up-to-date models. It says there too, like a mix of gameplay and in-game cinematics. So like this is what it's gonna fucking look like. It just looks so good. Get past this. See our Spider-Man jumping. They both look good in game. I think the colors look way better than what we've seen some of the earlier stuff, especially for Peter's suit. And like the lights and stuff here are incredible. You see like the new models for everybody. Not everybody has liked the new hair for Miles, and I think they're all wrong. He looks fucking sick. Same with MJ, who we'll see a little later. It looks, of course, we already know about Kraven and his goons blowing up the city, going on their hunt. We get a nice little quip out of Spider-Man here, which is great to hear before he goes full on dark. And obviously we see the web wings. And then so here's MJ. A lot of people have said she looks like too masculine, or there's kind of a split on it. I think if you really look at both faces, and even I think from the character models, like the person who's based off their Instagram, it is the same face. It's just like the hair does a big difference. The one thing I will say is the lack of like freckles and stuff. Like she is still supposed to be a ginger. They really like made her hair quite a bit darker and kind of removed some of that complexion, which is too bad. But I mean, she looks fine. It's not my favorite version of MJ, but it wasn't in the last game either, so whatever. Kraven looks sick, but I do wish he stood out a little more from the other people in his crew. He definitely looks good, like I like it a lot, but if he just was a little more colorful or something and stood out a little bit better, like there was more color in the vest or something. If we had not seen this before and in this whole character just shown up as a powerful enemy, you wouldn't have known the difference really, I think. They could have pushed it a little further probably, but I mean, I can't complain too much. It's way better than what we've seen from the other Sony stuff. Goons, stuff happening in the city, this weird shot of Peter as a butler. But then here, the symbiote. Oh boy! I was so afraid that the symbiote was just going to be like a lab experiment from Oscorp, but I think there was an article that came out right before this trailer that seemed to infer that it was an alien, and then here it is too, like clearly they're like finding the symbiote somewhere and then they're gonna take it back and have used it to help Harry, which is like a nice blend of both the original version of the alien symbiote and the Ultimate comic version where it is created in a lab. I definitely am way more in favor of the alien version. I'm so glad that they're still incorporating that to some level. I also can't help but see that this looks a little bit reddish. I mean, I'm probably just reading into it a little bit. There's no way that we're gonna have Carnage here too, but that would be something, wouldn't it? But yeah, so excited. And here's another great look, Miles in the suit. Like he looks incredible here. Same with the coloring. They just nailed it, I think, this time with the suit. I still like some of the design of the Insomniac's advanced suit from the last game, like patches on the legs, but I think they really brought it together in this one with the colors, and it looks really, really good. And then Martin Lee, so I wonder, clearly there's some other prison break or something going on for us to see Martin Lee here. We see Peter kind of faded in the background to the bottom left. I'm curious too, because Miles here is kind of taking a very like, aggressive stance and talking almost as if he is affected by a symbiote or something. Obviously, Martin Lee is the reason that Jefferson Davis died in this one. So I wonder if we'll kind of get a split here where maybe closer to the beginning, Peter will have to help Miles get through his like revenge and anger at Martin Lee, and then Miles will have to do the opposite to Peter once he's been affected by the symbiote later in the game. This is where stuff is really going to start to take off. So here's another shot of some figure in flames with like whips or chains. They look like chains to me. So I kind of assume this is Wraith. We haven't gotten like a really good shot of Wraith yet, but obviously the flames and the chains kind of read Ghost Rider, which is crazy. There's no way there's going to be Ghost Rider stuff in here. It's just like a weird shot, I think. I wish we got a better look at Wraith here if this is in fact Wraith, but I'm excited to see where they go with it. Then we get a quick shot here of Rio talking to Peter before we get some more shots of Peter in his kind of scary symbiote look. And here we get some lines of Miles and MJ kind of in fear of Peter while he's been affected by the symbiote. Just being able to get a glimpse of the way that this is going to affect Peter's relationships with his friends is just top-notch storytelling from Insomniac again. Then we're gonna get kind of an array of shots coming up here with Miles ending up with looks like a bunch of Kraven's goons, but with like a few different enemy types. Like there's always something we have to do with like these big guys to take them down, especially with Miles and his venom powers and stuff. But nothing too super exciting there. But this shot of a like gigantic lizard, like there's his head and Peter's on top of him. He's huge. It's also kind of crazy how wild they've chosen to go with the symbiote powers. Most of the time Peter just gets like physical enhancement and not any of like the tendrily mass. It's very cool to see him get full usage out of it. Then we have this shot of Peter 2 where just the lizard's scream is enough to affect the symbiote. So I wonder if he's going to be especially susceptible to its weaknesses, or if that'll change once it's Venom instead of Peter. Really nice shot of Kraven, some talking, shots we've seen here. Earlier, Harry was looking quite healthy after being out of the tank, and it seemed like kind of early game where they're just meeting him again. But then here, he's clearly got a cane, he's kind of hobbling along, he's getting more ill, so his illness is clearly going to progress again as the game goes on before it seems he'll be Venom. Get some more wicked black suit shots, some MJ. And here, so again, we have this relationship between the Osborns. There's a lot of concern in Harry's face here. I wonder if this is going to be before the symbiote escapes or after they've maybe recaptured it. It's kind of unclear at this point, but then we also get to see some degradation in Harry's personality. He's clearly upset. We're seeing some anger boil up, which is my biggest concern in this whole thing about Harry being Venom potentially, and now like clearly he is after this trailer. But our representation of Harry in the last game, he seemed just like purely altruistic and good. So it was hard to imagine how he was going to devolve into a Venom character. So it's nice to see that Insomniac has put some thought into it and we're going to see him devolve over time. Similarly here, so we get the repeat of a line that Harry says in the beginning where we're going to heal the world, and now this time Venom is saying it. And I can't help but hear, I've watched this trailer so many times, I can't help but hear when Venom says heal, it also sounds a little bit like kill. You'll have to listen to it back and see if you can spot the difference. Like it can kind of sound like both. I don't know if that's on purpose. And if it is, I'm really curious what their relationship is going to be like. Is Venom going to be kind of tricking Harry into thinking that he's doing good, but he's not? I'm kind of concerned about that from a story perspective because I feel like Venom should really be bonded to his host and not be trying to manipulate them. Like Venom worked for Eddie Brock because they both had the same goals in mind. So I wonder if the healing that they're talking about, like does Venom agree with Harry? Does he also think it's good, but it's actually bad? Or is he trying to manipulate him? Like it's hard to say where we're gonna go with this. But then obviously we get the beautiful shot of Venom. And holy shit. Like he looks really good. Like what? Are you serious right now? So again, I'm a little concerned that seeing Harry become this is going to be a bit difficult to believe from a character standpoint for him, but man, they have nailed the look of Venom. I don't love the jagged way the spider goes over the shoulder. I'd rather it was down with the other ones, like the classic look, but I mean, that's so minor. At least he has the fucking spider. And this is supposed to be in-game footage. I'm just like, I'm in awe. I'm so excited for this. Even if I don't love the Harry Venom storyline as much as I would have liked an Eddie Brock, like, I just, at this point, trust Insomniac enough with it that whatever story they're going to tell, I think is going to be decent. I just can't stop looking at him. He looks so good. Let me know what you think of the trailer in the comments below. If there's any important details you think we missed, we can extrapolate on them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'd love to make more Spider-Man stuff, so if I know people like it, then it definitely encourages me to do so. And if you want to deck out your controllers like this or this, there's an affiliate code for eXtremeRate in the description below. You can use coupon code ULTRAVIOLET for 10% off controller faceplates and other gaming accessories at checkout. Until the next time.